Marcus walked the same halls every day, past the same paintings, until that day when the museum director said, "This is our most valuable piece in the collection." Marcus smiled as he listened, because the real $50 million painting was hanging in his home, and no one had noticed for 15 years. Welcome to Human Stories. Before we begin this shocking story, tell us in the comments what city you're watching from today, and if you believe life's most incredible stories deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button. These stories are real. It was 9 a.m. at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Marcus Johnson had started his shift in his navy blue uniform, patrolling the museum halls as always. He was 52 years old, medium height, gray-haired, a quiet man. He had been doing the same job for 15 years. Museum staff knew him as Marcus. Reliable, punctual, never caused problems. He walked the same route every day, watching visitors examine the paintings. He didn't talk much about art, but helped when needed. "Good morning, Marcus," said Museum Director Dr. Elizabeth Harper as she passed by. "Good morning, Doctor." "Harper," Marcus replied respectfully. Marcus had the same thought every morning when he came to work. "Will I be caught today?" The same question for 15 years, and the same answer every day. No, because Marcus Johnson wasn't just a security guard. He was also one of the world's most successful art thieves. Marcus Johnson was actually born as James Morrison. He had been immersed in art since childhood. His father was a painter, his mother a museum curator. James had learned to paint and make copies from a very early age. He studied art history in university. He had a master's degree, but he couldn't make money legally. In 1998, he committed his first crime, stealing a painting from a small gallery. He had made a perfect copy of that painting and put it in place of the original. No one had noticed? "This is too easy," he had said to himself. "Why don't I do something bigger?" Between 2003 to 2008, James Morrison had been the art world's nightmare. He had stolen 15 paintings from 47 different museums and galleries. Total value, $200 million. But in 2008, he had almost been caught. The FBI was on the verge of catching James Morrison. Agent Sarah Mitchell was running the operation. James's house was about to be raided, but James was smart. He had learned about the FBI's plans beforehand. He hid all the stolen paintings and changed his identity. With fake documents, he became Marcus Johnson. He completely erased his past and made the smartest move. He applied to work as a security guard at the Metropolitan Museum. "The safest place is inside the police station," he had thought. When applying for the job, he had prepared perfect references. No one suspected. In 2009, he started working at the Metropolitan as Marcus Johnson. Marcus spent the first 6 months learning the museum's security system. Cameras, sensors, protection protocols. He memorized everything. Then he made his first move. The Monet painting, Water Lily series number. 3 inches in the Impressionist painting section was very valuable. $35 million. Marcus planned for months. First, he prepared the perfect copy. He copied every brushstroke, every color tone, even the aging marks. As a security guard, he had access. During the night shift, temporarily disabling the cameras, he removed the original painting and placed the copy in its place. In the morning, no one noticed, because the copy was perfect. The secret to Marcus's success was his ability to make perfect copies. Not just the painting, but its frame, the labels on the back, even the dust accumulation. He used modern technology, UV light analysis, chemical age tests, brush texture examination. Every detail had to be perfect. He would work for months in his secret studio at home. He found and used original paints, old canvases, period frames. Most importantly, he didn't rush. He did minimum 6 months of preparation for each painting. In 2011, he made his second move. Van Gogh's Sunflowers painting, worth $50 million. This time he was bolder. After preparing the copy, he made the switch during tourist visiting hours. He distracted the other security guards, stayed alone in that section for a short time, quickly made the exchange. Again, no one noticed. In 2014, he made his biggest move. Not Picasso's Guernica reproduction, but the lesser-known original sketch, Blue Period Portrait, $45 million. This painting would be displayed in a special exhibition for only 3 weeks. Marcus didn't want to miss the opportunity. The preparation process took 8 months. He perfectly copied Picasso's brush technique, blue pigment mixtures, 1901 canvas texture. On the exhibition's opening night, while VIP guests were present, he made the move. The riskiest, but most perfect operation. By 2018, Marcus had stolen a total of 7 paintings, replacing them with perfect copies. Total value, $280 million. The FBI was still looking for James Morrison. They never suspected Marcus Johnson. Marcus had a secret room in his house. Inside hung 7 original paintings, his personal museum. Every evening, when he returned home, he would look at these paintings with pride. He had become the world's greatest art thief, and no one knew. In 2020, Museum Director Dr. Elizabeth Harper spoke of Marcus with praise. "Marcus has been here for 15 years, one of our most reliable employees. We've never had any security problems." Marcus laughed inwardly when he heard this praise. The biggest security problem was actually himself. Dr. Harper continued, "I feel especially comfortable on the days he guards our valuable pieces." Marcus: "Thank you, Doctor." Harper. I also take pleasure in protecting these artworks. Technically, he wasn't lying. He really was protecting the artworks. In his secret room at home. June 15th, 2023, Doctor. Harper had brought an important guest. Dr. Antonio Ricci, a famous art expert from Italy. They were touring the Impressionist section, where Marcus was on duty. "This is our most valuable piece in the collection," said Dr. Harper, pointing to Van Gogh's Sunflowers painting, "worth $50 million. Dr. Ricci examined the painting carefully. "Magnificent! Van Gogh's brush technique looks perfect." Marcus was sitting on a nearby bench. He smiled when he heard the conversation. "Dr. Harper, we've been displaying it for 12 years. Never had any problems." Marcus thought to himself, "Because this is a copy. The original is in my house." As Dr. Ricci examined the painting, he noticed something. "Interesting. This painting's appearance under UV light looks a bit different." Dr. Harper became worried. "What do you mean?" "The pigment structure, as if it's been cleaned very recently." Marcus's heart started racing. Dr. Ricci was looking with expert eyes. "Maybe it underwent restoration," said Dr. Harper. "No." Dr. Ricci shook his head. "This painting has never been restored, but the pigments look very fresh." Marcus stood up. He sensed danger. "Doctor," Ricci continued his detailed examination. "These brush strokes, Van Gogh's 1888 technique, but the canvas texture seems produced in the 2000s. Dr. Harper was surprised. "Is that possible? If this is a copy, it's a very perfect copy." Marcus was now in panic mode. Was his perfect 15-year plan unraveling? Dr. Harper turned to Marcus. "Marcus, do you know anything about this painting?" Marcus tried to appear calm. "No, ma'am. I'm just a security guard." Dr. Ricci took out his microscope, looked at the painting more closely. "This is definitely a copy. Very professional, but a copy." The museum's alarms seemed about to go off. Dr. Harper panicked. "How is this possible?" "Our security is perfect." Dr. Ricci. "Whoever made this copy is a Van Gogh expert and had access to the original." Marcus slowly started walking toward the door. Dr. Harper. "Marcus, call the police." When Marcus reached the door, Dr. Ricci called out, "Mr. Johnson," or Mr. Morrison. Marcus froze. Dr. Ricci was smiling. "I've been waiting for you for 15 years. James Morrison." Marcus's world collapsed. Dr. Antonio Ricci was actually an FBI art crimes specialist. He was conducting a covert operation. "How?" Marcus asked. "I started suspecting in 2019. 7 different paintings stolen from museums, all replaced with perfect copies. This was your signature. FBI agent Sarah Mitchell, disguised as Dr. Ricci continued. You lived as Marcus Johnson for 15 years. Perfect masquerade. But you made one mistake. The electricity bill at your house was too high. UV lights, special paints, workshop equipment." Marcus nodded. He had finally been caught. "We've been watching your house for 2 years. We know about the 7 paintings in the secret room." When the FBI raided Marcus's house, they found 7 original paintings in the secret room. Monet, Water Lilies series number, 3 inches, $35 million. Van Gogh, Sunflowers, $50 million. Picasso, Blue Period Portrait, $45 million. Renoir, Woman by the Lake, $25 million. Cézanne, Mont Sainte-Victoire, $40 million. Degas, Ballerina Rehearsal, $30 million. Manet, Olympia Sketch, $35 million. Total value, $260 million. In the basement of his house, the FBI found a professional workshop, antique paints and pigments 1800 to 1900 canvases, period frames, UV light analysis device, chemical aging equipment, microscopes and brushes. All the evidence of Marcus's 15-year work was there. The FBI conducted a full examination of the museum. All 7 paintings were perfect copies. Dr. Harper was shocked. "We displayed fake paintings for 15 years. Agent Mitchell. "The copies were so perfect that even experts didn't notice." James Morrison is a real artist, but a criminal artist. Marcus Johnson, real name James Morrison, was arrested. His 15-year criminal career was revealed in court. Prosecutor. "The defendant stole 23 paintings from 47 different museums, 7 paintings from the museum where he worked. Total damage, $400 million. Marcus pleaded guilty. "Yes, I did them all." Marcus's lawyer took a different approach. "My client is guilty, but he didn't damage the paintings. In fact, he protected them. The copies were so perfect that even art experts didn't notice. This shows that art's value isn't only in originality, but in beauty." But the court didn't accept this argument. The judge sentenced Marcus to 25 years in prison. The defendant committed crimes against great art history. He stole works that are humanity's heritage. But considering his copying ability, he can work in art restoration projects in prison. Marcus accepted the sentence calmly. He had been expecting to be caught for 15 years. Marcus is now in federal prison, but he's not idle. He runs the prison art workshop. He teaches inmates how to paint. "I don't make copies anymore," he says. "I create original works." His paintings in prison are sold. The proceeds distributed to victim families. The Metropolitan Museum completely changed its security system. Dr. Harper. "We had a thief among us for 15 years and didn't notice. Now paintings are checked daily. UV light, chemical tests, Detailed examination. Visitors now look more carefully. They ask, is this also a copy? Interesting development. Marcus's copies continue to be displayed in the museum. Dr. Harper, these copies have artistic value. James Morrison's skill is incredible. We now display them as James Morrison copies. Visitors can see both originals and copies. Can they tell the difference? Most of the time, no. Art experts discuss Marcus's case. If we can't distinguish copies from originals, what is art's value? Is Marcus Morrison the most talented forger of our age or an artist? Some see him as a criminal, others as a genius. He wrote a letter from prison to Dr. Harper. I protected those paintings for 15 years in my house, in a special environment, with perfect climate. The display conditions in the museum were worse. Ironically, I protected them by stealing, Dr. Harper wrote back. Theft is still theft. Marcus will be released in 15 years. He'll be 67 then. His plans to start an art restoration company, legally. I won't steal anymore. I'll protect, he says. FBI Agent Mitchell. James Morrison's talent shouldn't be wasted. Protection isn't crime now. After Marcus's case, museums worldwide increased security, daily painting checks, UV light tests, chemical aging analysis, personnel background checks, internal security cameras. Marcus unintentionally improved museum security. The Metropolitan saw an increase in visitors. Everyone wants to see the paintings the thief stole. Where did Marcus Johnson work? Which paintings were fake? Museum guides tell Marcus's story. It became the most popular tour. Marcus's case created a philosophical question. If a copy is perfect, what's the difference from the original? Is art's value aesthetic or historical? No one noticed for 15 years. So the copy was also beautiful. These questions confused the art world. Marcus Johnson, James Morrison, currently lives in federal prison. He committed perfect crimes for 15 years. No one suspected. His story teaches us this. Even the most perfect plans eventually unravel. Truth always comes out. But Marcus's talent was also real. He made copies as beautiful as the paintings he stole. Perhaps the real crime was using this talent illegally. He fooled the world for 15 years, but he couldn't fool himself. He lived with the fear of being caught every day. Marcus's story is also about security flaws. Criminals can hide even in the safest places. If this story affected you, share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the copy versus original debate? Subscribe to Human Stories to ensure incredible stories like this continue to be told. Because real life is more surprising than fiction. Until the next story, when you visit a museum, look at the paintings a little more carefully. Sometimes things aren't as they appear.